Well, switching gears now, this week's presidential debate overshadowed the 23-year memorial of the 9/11 attacks that killed almost 3,000 Americans. But the memorial did lead many to wonder whether we are again becoming vulnerable to our enemies, both abroad and from those who've slipped in illegally through our porous borders. Let's discuss this with Charlie Hurt, Washington Times opinion editor and Fox News contributor, and Ned Ryun, founder and CEO of American Majority and author of a new book called The American Leviathan, The Birth of the Administrative State and Progressive Authoritarianism. I thought we had a picture of it. Apparently we don't. We'll try to get that before the segment's out, Ned. So thank you both for being here.
David.
Charlie, I just want to play some sound of something that brought these two issues together. The security issue of the United States of America, deal with the memorial, the 23rd memorial of 9/11, and what's happening with our political debate. It was a meeting in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, which of course was where United 93 went down, between Donald Trump, who came into to the hangar, but before him was Harris and Biden. Let's roll that tape and get your reaction.
There he is.
So I guess you could see that. That was Biden and Harris that came in, and there were just crickets. I mean, there weren't even crickets. It was just no sound at all. Yeah. And then somebody said, "There he is, Donald Trump." I mean, what do you make of that? This is one of the ground zero spots commemorizing the 9/11 attacks, and you saw the way they reacted to the different candidates.
Yeah, I think you're right. Even the crickets left the building. It's amazing to look at that because, you know, there's no question who the constituency is in America for Donald Trump. The constituency are these people that are in this fire hall. They're the people who mourn the dead on from 9/11. They're the people who fight in our wars and mourn the people that get killed overseas. Those are the constituents for a Donald Trump presidency. I don't know who the constituents are for Kamala Harris. It's ABC News, obviously, and I think a lot of the people in our media business who are her constituents. But beyond that, honestly, David, I walk around and I talk to lots of people, lots of Democrats, and I just ask people, who inspires you? And I get a lot of Democrats who are inspired by AOC or, Bernie Sanders. I don't know anyone who is inspired by Kamala Harris except people who just don't like Donald Trump, and therefore they're inspired by anybody who's not Donald Trump.
Well, the question is, who will they be inspired to vote for? And again, how much security is going to play in it? With the economy, we know is still number one, Ned. That's the number one issue, as well as it should be. But security, more and more is playing a role in people's lives that they don't want to be there. Whether it's afraid of regular crime on the street or what's happening at the border, these new Venezuelan gangs, et cetera. We're going to talk more about them coming up. But 1968, security played a big issue in getting Richard Nixon elected, and he focused on that. He focused on crime and insecurity. Is that going to happen between now and election time here?
Well, I think it absolutely will, David. I mean, the immigration crisis is not about the porous southern border and importing Venezuelan gangs. I'd remind people the Panamanian government reported a few days ago that they actually have seen Hezbollah moving through the Darien Gap below our southern border. This is a national security issue, and it's been brought about in a very intentional, systematic way by the Biden-Harris administration. I would remind people again, in the first year of the Biden term, 300 executive orders literally annihilating and destroying the security of our southern border that has put us into this position. And on 9/11, David, it was shocking to me to juxtapose what took place on 9/11 to where we are 23 years later, and that we actually have an administration overtly weakening our national security by what they've done on our southern border in a very intentional way for almost 40 years.
And Charlie, I know we got bogged down in talking about cats and dogs and whether they're being eaten by the immigrants and so forth during the debate. And But there is real stuff going on in places like Aurora, Colorado, and Springfield, Ohio. Real stuff affecting real people. One of whom lost her mother-in-law to a Haitian migrant in a horrific car accident. I just want to play a soundbite of her talking about it. Roll tape.
That morning, though, a Haitian immigrant was allegedly driving recklessly when he struck and killed her. I say allegedly because to this day, there's been no punishment, not even for the expired tags on the vehicle he was driving.
I mean, that's what people are dealing with. And obviously, this is a minority of people compared to the United States, but their word gets out there. They have relatives and friends and talk. Everybody's afraid of it. Everybody has an interest in this story now.
Well, maybe they are a minority, but of course, this is happening all over the country, and it's not being reported accurately by the press or at all by the by most of the press. In any normal or sane political environment, if you had a politician running for office who was singularly responsible for allowing millions of people into the country, some of whom have committed horrifying crimes, including murder and rape and assaults on children, that politician would be forced to pay a price for it in public in a very, very severe way. Yep. And we would be looking at some 80-20 election here where Joe Biden and Kamala Harris would be just taken out with the garbage. Yeah. But yet you have this press, this dying political press, who are desperate to sort of keep their power together and propping these people up. It's insane.
Ned, very quickly, I want to get this in because there was something else that happened yesterday. The Kamala headquarters re-election headquarters put up a picture of J.D. Vance and his answer to a question: do you want to privatize the VAs around America, Veterans Administration hospitals? And he said it might be an idea to look into, but they left out this soundbite. I just want to play that and get your reaction. Roll it.
Would you ever consider privatized health care for veterans?
I think I'd consider, and Donald Trump was really good at this, doesn't get enough credit for this particular innovation, but giving veterans more choice, right? So, let's say you're in a rural hospital, their closest VA is 120 miles away. Why force a veteran to drive 2.5 hours to that VA facility when he can get cheaper and good care right in his backyard, right? So I do think that we ought to open up choice and optionality for veterans. I would say give people more choice.
Ned, we only have about 15 seconds, but talk about selective editing to make a dishonest point.
Correct. And I think the dynamic that people aren't paying attention enough to in 2024 that's different from 2020 is the free speech platform of Twitter, now X, that Elon Musk has allowed for people to be able to fact check this in real time and expose the lies of the left in relatively short amount of time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That makes a lot of difference. Guys, I wish we had more time. We run out of it. Charlie, Ned, thank you very much for being here.